Okay, so you know how it is with a great story, right? You get to the end, the credits roll, and you're left wondering, what happens next? Well, today we're going to dive into what is, I think, maybe the greatest sequel ever written, the Book of Acts.
I mean, let's be honest. Most sequels, they're kind of flops, right? You've got this amazing original movie, and then the follow-up just feels meh, unnecessary, totally uninspired, a big letdown.
But then, every once in a while, you get a sequel that just nails it. You know the ones I'm talking about. They take that world, those characters you already love, and they just blow it wide open. It doesn't just add to the story. It feels essential, a true blockbuster.
And that right there is exactly what the Book of Acts is. It's the blockbuster sequel to the Gospel of Luke. Seriously, it picks up literally right where the story of Jesus leaves off and just launches the action into a whole new dimension.
So, the greatest sequel ever. What makes it so great? Well, here's the thing. It's not just a follow-up. It's actually part 2 of a single massive story, written by the very same author.
The author is this guy, Dr. Luke, a physician who traveled with the Apostle Paul. And check this out. He starts his first book, the Gospel of Luke, by talking about everything Jesus began to do and teach. See that? Began. That one little word is a huge clue. It's like he's saying, hey, the story's not over. So Acts is volume 2. It's the story of what Jesus continues to do, but this time he's doing it through his followers. Okay, the mission and the map. So right at the beginning of this sequel, Jesus gives his followers a mission. But it's more than just a mission. It's also a perfect roadmap for the entire book. And here it is. You will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. Acts 1, verse 8. This single sentence, it's basically the thesis statement for the entire book. It's both a command and a promise, and it lays out this clear 3-step plan for how the message is going to spread. It's the blueprint, right here. And what's amazing is that the book follows this map to a T. Step 1, Jerusalem. The first 7 chapters, all in Jerusalem. Then, boom, step 2, Judea and Samaria. The action breaks out into the surrounding areas, crossing some major cultural lines. And finally, step 3, the ends of the earth. The rest of the book, from chapter 10 all the way to 28, is all about the mission pushing out into the entire Roman Empire.
All right, section 3, explosion in Jerusalem. Let's look at that first step. Things start off with a bang, right in the heart of the city.
So the first thing you notice is, wow, the main characters are completely different people. I mean, take Peter. Just a few weeks earlier in the Gospels, he was so scared for his life he swore he didn't even know Jesus. But now, in Acts, this same guy is standing up in front of huge crowds, boldly preaching about Jesus. I mean, what changed? What happened to this guy? The book points to one thing, a brand new power source, the Holy Spirit.
And listen, this isn't just some minor plot point. The Holy Spirit is mentioned over 50 times in the Book of Acts. 50! It's why a lot of people say the book should really be called The Acts of the Holy Spirit, not The Acts of the Apostles. Because he is the real main character here. He's the engine driving this whole story.
Next up, an unlikely catalyst. So think about it. The movement is exploding in Jerusalem. It's a huge success. So why would they ever leave? What could possibly push them out? Well, the answer is pretty unexpected.
So, really, how did the message break out of Jerusalem? I mean, this is a huge question for the story. You've got this amazing thing happening, a new community is forming, things are going great. Why on earth would you pack up and go somewhere else? It doesn't make a lot of sense.
The answer is just one word, and it's a shocking one. Persecution. Yeah, the very thing that was supposed to completely destroy this new movement is actually what made it spread like wildfire.
Here's how it went down. A key leader named Stephen gets killed, and then this intense persecution breaks out, led by a guy named Saul of Tarsus. All the believers have to run for their lives, and where do they run? They scatter, get this, throughout Judea and Samaria, the exact next places on the mission map. The plan to stamp them out actually became the very thing that forced them to expand.
From persecutor to protagonist. And this is where the story takes maybe one of the most incredible plot twists of all time. And it all centers on that one guy, Saul, the one leading the persecution.
Okay, get this. The church's #1 enemy, Saul of Tarsus, is on his way to Damascus to arrest even more of these believers. And on the road, He has this dramatic, blinding encounter with the resurrected Jesus himself, and just like that, everything changes. The villain of the story becomes the hero. The church's greatest enemy becomes its greatest champion.
And from that moment on, the story basically follows this guy, who we now know as Paul. He spends some years in preparation, and then he launches these 3 massive missionary journeys all across the Roman Empire. His whole mission is to take this message and push it out beyond just the Jewish people to the non-Jewish world, the Gentiles. And that's how we get to the final stage of the mission, taking the story to the ends of the earth. His final journey even takes him, as a prisoner, right to the heart of the empire, Rome. All right, our final section, an unfinished story. So we followed Paul all the way to Rome. The momentum is huge. The story is epic. And then the book just kind of ends. It's really weird.
I'm not kidding, it just stops. Paul's under house arrest in Rome, he's still preaching, and then that's the last verse. The book is over. No big finale. We don't find out what happens to him. For a story this action-packed, it's a super abrupt, almost unsatisfying ending.
But here's the beautiful explanation. The reason it seems odd is because the main character is the Holy Spirit, and therefore it keeps getting chapters added to it. See, the reason it ends so abruptly is because Paul isn't the main character, the Holy Spirit is. And since the Holy Spirit is still at work in the world today, the story can't possibly be finished. It's not over. It just keeps getting new chapters added to it, through people, down through history.
And that, of course, leaves us with one last big question. If this story is still being written, what chapter are you writing?